me just sitting down with one of my best friends and literally word vomiting. Do you know when you just sit down and you're so frustrated, like with a friend, whether it be on FaceTime or whatever, and you're just speaking your mind? I feel like that's what this video has been. Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. So today I thought I would just sit down and have a little bit of a catch up, a little bit of a chat with you guys, because I was going back through my videos from the last number of months and I kind of realised that I feel like we've lost touch a little bit and connection a little bit, because I remember I always used to do these like monthly Q&As or every 2 months, and I don't do Q&As anymore, and I used to kind of update you guys on what was going on with me in them kinds of videos and kind of, you know, connect a little bit, and you guys would let me know down in the comments what was going on with you guys, whereas I feel like we've been out of the loop with each other and that needs to change. I have absolutely no plan for this video whatsoever. I just want to open up to you guys, be real, have a chat, so if that's what you came here for, you're in for a ride. Okay, so first things first, how am I doing? Jessica, how have you been? How has your mental health been? Well, I am here to let you know that I have not been great, and my mental health hasn't been great. It has definitely been better. I've seen better days with my mental health, most definitely. I feel like I can't get my words out the way I want to get my words out. Does anybody relate to this? Okay, let's just get into it, Jessica. Just speak what's on your flipping mind. Like, don't worry if it makes sense. It's gonna make sense, okay? So how I'm feeling. So if I'm being honest with you guys, I've not been feeling myself the last, I'd say about 2 months. Things have been very like up and down, but more so down, and just how I've been feeling in myself mentally. I've been suffering with depression and anxiety quite a lot in the last couple of months, and you know, you guys will know if you watch me regularly that I've suffered with depression and anxiety since I was 15, so it's been an ongoing battle since then. And I think what is so frustrating is the thing with depression is that you never know when it's gonna just like creep up on you and it's just gonna spiral, and I feel like it creeps up on you and you don't realise it's crept up on you until you're quite deep in it. Does that make sense? I always feel like when I'm trying to explain mental health and talk about mental health that I'm making no freaking sense, because oh my god, I always just imagine me speaking to somebody who has never suffered with mental health and they're listening to me like, wow, this woman is wacky, she is crazy, she needs to be signed in. Like, honestly, I think that's why I don't talk about it more, because it's something I'm so passionate about, but I always feel like people are going to be sat on the other screen with just like a load of question marks above their head. Like, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of what happened to me in the last couple of months now. To be honest, a lot of change has happened in my life and I've been trying to adjust to a lot of things that I've never had to deal with before, and a lot of things that are first for me, like moving out home, kind of properly becoming an adult and just properly standing on your own 2 feet in every which way and in every sense of the word. And you know, that is a big adjustment in itself. I feel like I didn't notice I was getting quite depressed again until I was like, shit, Jessica, you have been really isolating yourself again. And that is something that I tend to do when I'm feeling very empty and alone and dark in my head, is I will isolate myself from pretty much a lot of things in my life. I want to say nearly everything, but especially like people, because the thing with people, and I'm sure if you have ever suffered with depression or you do, or even anxiety or any other mental health illness, you'll kind of maybe relate to this. But do you ever just get so fed up with saying you're not okay? And like when people say, why? Like, why are you feeling anxious? Why are you feeling depressed? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I can't put my finger on one thing. Do you ever feel like it's absolutely everything and it's nothing all at the same time? Like, I honestly feel like that's kind of how I've been feeling like the last couple months. Like, it's everything, but it's nothing, and I can't just put my finger on one thing. And you just feel like you're a broken record, like being like, oh, I'm feeling fucking shit today and I just want to stay in bed. And it's like, okay, can you just change the record, please? So therefore, in my head, it's like, okay, the easiest thing to do is isolate, because then I don't have to deal with that. I told you I had no plan for this video. This is literally just my thoughts blurring out of my mouth, word vomit, literally. But going back a few years ago, I would say 2 years where I was like in a really deep, dark depression. And I feel like ever since then, like, you know, I've never been like, okay, I'm not depressed now, like, I'm fine. Like, I never got over that. Like, you know, I feel like I learned how to cope with things better, how to deal with my depression better. And, you know, I definitely spent a lot of time working on myself and growing and learning about myself. And, you know, I definitely had periods where I was much better and happier in myself. But in the last month, I've been getting really frustrated with myself and angry with myself nearly, because in 2018, I did a lot of work on myself and I was the best I had ever been up until that point in 2018, and it did last like a period of time, and I couldn't believe it, and it was all down to with all the work I was doing on myself. And you know, then I had obviously some dips and some ups and some downs, and I did more work on myself in 2019, and then in the last couple months when things just got quite low and spiraled again, I was kind of in my head, I was like, you know, I feel like I'm back to square one, and I spent all these hours and all these days and all this time working on it and trying to get better, and then I thought I was in a place where I was better, and now I'm feeling like this again, and I'm feeling like hopelessness, and I'm feeling just drained, and I just want to stay in bed, and I'm struggling, and I don't want to be around people, and I just want to be on my own. I feel like literally in the last couple of days my eyes have opened and been like, Jessica, like healing is not linear. Like healing is a journey, and I feel like especially with mental illness like depression or anxiety, they're the only two things that I personally have experience with. I just feel like it's something that's not spoken about. Like it's spoken about like, okay, if you're depressed or anxious, go to the doctor, get some medication, go to counselling for like 10 or 12 sessions, and then you'll be absolutely fine because you'll learn some coping mechanisms and you'll be fine. But it doesn't work like that. I feel like I got so angry and frustrated in myself because I thought I had healed in a lot of ways, and then I was like, shit, I clearly haven't. But it's like when you have had so many years of a lot of pain and trauma and darkness, you know, it doesn't just take a year or two to heal from all that. It actually takes a very long time. And, you know, it takes a long time for us to process it. I just feel like I've noticed, especially over the Christmas time, like, you know, a lot of people were getting sick and getting the flu and whatnot. And, you know, I was actually really sick over the Christmas, you know, and people were like very like, oh, are you okay? Like, can I do this? Can I do that for you? Da-da-da-da. But then it's like, okay, I'm really struggling mentally and I feel like this, da-da. And how come people, they just don't respond the same way? Like, I just feel so frustrated at this point because, if I'm dying with the flu, everybody is so supportive and so like, can I help you? Can I do anything? Go to the doctor. You need to take care of yourself. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. You need to rest. But when it comes to mental health, it's not the same. I just feel like still, even though mental health now is spoken about and it's much more accepted and stuff, I still don't think there is enough support into it. And like the mental health support system in Ireland is an absolute joke. It is ridiculous. Like, the cost of therapy and the cost of counselling, and even if you need antidepressants, like, you gotta pay for them, and it's €60 to go to the doctor, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. I also feel like people who have never suffered with mental health or a mental illness, which I'm so freaking happy for you, like, Jesus, honestly, I could not be happier. But I really do feel like we all need to be educated more, and especially people who don't suffer with it or have never seen it, because I feel like, you know, somebody who's never suffered with a mental illness, and then if you're trying to explain to them or you're talking about it, they're like, come on, it can't be that bad, like, just get over yourself. What, you're a bit anxious to go out, just get your coat on and leave the house. It's like, you do not understand. You don't understand what's going on in here. You don't understand the physical symptoms that comes along with mental health. Like, have you ever tried to speak to somebody or explain to somebody who has no idea about, just say, anxiety, and you're trying to explain to them what it is? And you can just see them looking at you like you've got like 10 little boppy heads floating around your head. Like, what is this one on about? Like, woo. But yeah, I've kind of just been like, you know, Jessica, you're struggling a bit at the moment. You know, you need to do things that are going to help you the same way you did when you had the flu over the Christmas. And you did all the things that you knew would help you slowly get better. And you didn't beat yourself up for having the flu because it's out of your control. And so is your mental health illnesses and your depression and your anxiety, Jessica. That is out of your control. That does not define you. I honestly feel like this right here is the perfect representation of like what I'm trying to get across. Like, I'm trying to explain how I'm feeling inside is literally near freaking impossible. Like, it's impossible because there's so many emotions and so many thoughts that I feel like they all just sound absolutely insane. I honestly think one of the worst things about depression is that like sense of feeling alone. And it's not loneliness, it's feeling alone. And no matter how many people you are surrounded by or how many people are in the room or no matter what, you still feel that level and that depth of feeling alone. And I don't think there's anything worse than that. And I have been feeling like that the last couple of weeks. And like, do you know when you just don't feel understood? Like, I feel like it's been that as well. It's like there's all these thoughts in my head that I want to get out of my mouth, but when I try and say them, they don't come out right, and then I get really frustrated. I don't think there's anything worse than not feeling understood and not feeling like you can express exactly just what is going on in your mind, because I feel like that's the thing with depression and anxiety. Like, I feel like when you have the both of them at the same time, it's like an absolute shit show, because they are like complete opposite ends of the spectrum, so they come together and it's just this absolute mess, and you don't know how you're feeling, when you're feeling it, what the frick is going on, what's real, what's not real. Like, Jesus, gibbers, good blah. If you're also struggling at the moment and you're also kind of having a bit of a dip and you're in a bit of a rut, I think we just have to remind ourselves that, you know, healing is not linear, and healing doesn't look like this. It looks a whole lot like this. You know, so yes, we may be in a rut now, but that is all part of our journey and our process to healing. And just because you felt like you had made all this progress, like I did, it doesn't mean you're back at square one now. We're not back at square one. We're just way further along in our healing path than we were back then. And this is absolutely okay. But I do think it's so important for us to just tell ourselves that if we're not mentally feeling well, like, fucking take care of yourself. And I don't mean go and have a bubble bath and drink a hot chocolate and snuggle up and watch Netflix. No, I mean literally, really do what you need to fucking do. Because if your mental health is not in a good place, nothing else in your life is going to be able to be in a good place either. And if you don't get your mental health on track, then, you know, are you even going to be here? Like, that is the most important thing, is for our mental health to be okay. So back everything else. Like, I just feel like we need this reminder, because I just feel like it's like, oh, you're having a bad day, get on with it, get up, put your lipstick on, put your high heels on. And it's like, no, like, everything is not, shouldn't be glamorized and romanticized the way it is. And it's like, you know, oh, show them what's what. And it's like, yeah, but, you know, we do have real fucking struggles as well, and our brains can be a really shitty dark place to be. Just to say, I am okay. I'm actually much better now than I was a month ago, even 3 weeks ago. But, you know, it's a slow process. I am still struggling quite a bit, but that's how it works, you know. And when you kind of have like a bit of a rut and you fall into a bit of a puddle where you're like stuck in this mud and you can't get out, it is going to take a little bit of time to like pull each bit of your skin and your clothes out of the mud and then finally be free and feel a bit lighter in yourself again. But I just feel like I needed to get a lot of that off my chest, and I want to start really being just very raw and in the moment with you guys this year again, because I was for most of my YouTube channel, but in the last few months things were just a bit crazy that I kind of stopped doing that, and I really want to bring that back. There's honestly nothing I appreciate more than just like a raw, open, real human being who just fucking says it how it is, says it how they're thinking it, doesn't hold back. And honestly, that's what I want to do a lot more of on my channel this year. And yeah, it's going to be our year. Yeah, it's not off to the best start, but seasonal depression and all that jazz. Honestly, seasonal depression is a real thing, and it's something I've noticed I have suffered with for the last number of years, and it's been pretty freaking bad. And I didn't realise this year that it was seasonal depression until it was so late that I was like, oh, what is wrong with me? And then I was like, it's winter. I never want to be that person on the internet who is like, yeah, everything's great and I'm fine and I'm so happy all the time, because I freaking despise that, because nobody's life is like that, okay? It's not. So I just want to keep it completely real with you guys. Show you when I am happy. Show you the ups, but also show you the fucking lows and the downs and the real deep downs, you know? None of us have superpowers and we're just going through the motions. And all we can do is share with one another and try and be there for one another and know that you're not alone and neither am I. And even though our fucking devil, that devil which is depression, can often convince us that we are, we need to kick him to the side and go, no, we're not. We are far from alone. And I want the comments under this video to be a place of love and reassurance and hope and just kindness. I know this was such a ramble, probably the most ranty video I've ever filmed. I don't even know if this is going to make it to my channel because I feel like I've made absolutely no sense whatsoever, and it was literally like me just sitting down with one of my best friends and literally word vomiting. Do you know when you just sit down and you're so frustrated, like with a friend, whether it be on FaceTime or whatever, and you're just speaking your mind? I feel like that's what this video has been. And I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I hope you understand what I tried to express in this video, and I hope you're keeping okay. Please do let me know down in the comments because I'm going to be reading all your comments. I just want to say as well, I freaking adore every single one of you guys, and you know, this is the one place where I've never felt misunderstood and I've always felt understood, and I have never really felt like that in my personal life. Like my whole life I've pretty much felt not understood, and it's an awful fucking feeling. So thank you, like just thank you for giving me, oh my god, I've literally been talking about like how shit things are in mental health and now I'm like getting emotional at like the best bit of the video. But yeah, just thank you so much, because you have no idea how much light and love and hope and happiness you have honestly brought into my life. You guys are literally like my guardian angel, and I'm so grateful for you. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I am honestly okay. I will be okay. We will all be okay. It's just a journey, and let's go through it together. It's not going to be easy, but nothing that was easy has ever been worth it. Nothing worth having ever came easy. Is that what they say? I don't know. But I love you guys, and I'll see you guys super duper soon. Bye bye.